Welcome to another Seesaw Scenario with the Eric and Mark Show. After the scenario is presented, Mark will bless us with his valuable insight. The question this scenario presents is the playground executive a necessary agitator that provides the inertia necessary for us to find our path, or can nothing good be extrapolated from their evil intent? The playground setting in this scenario is the table at which you sit. Every table has a playground executive whose jokes are always funny and who gets to decide what logic is acceptable at the table. You desperately want to be accepted, so you wonder, should I share my equivalent to the coat of many color dream with the table? Most of us know how that went. Or will the table executive in rare style be supportive? Let me explain. General Sun Tzu in The Art of War gives a very important battle strategy. That, in paraphrase, is to keep your plan of attack in the dark and strike like lightning without a moment's notice. Business coaches will tell you the best way to kill a dream is to tell it to the wrong person. However, would Joseph have been kicked in a pit by his brothers, been sold into slavery, put in jail on his way to a position of high authority if he hadn't shared his dream with his brothers? Would Jesus have fulfilled his sacrificial mission as we know it without Judas collaborating with the Romans and the Pharisees constantly planning and hoping for his demise due to the audacity of his claim to be the Son of God? It's implied in the good book that one should keep good company seeking to be surrounded by wise, which may allude to the wisdom in being selective of who hears our innermost dreams. Would it change anything if the dream was for the benefit of others versus benefit of self? Circling back, so as to not be enveloped by a rabbit hole, here it is a little more concisely. In Romans 8:28, paraphrase, it says, "All things work together for the good of those that believe in God and are called according to his purpose." If we don't put our dreams out there to the playground executive, there would be nothing to work together. Is being turned down by the playground executive the biggest motivator people have to go and build their own playground, or are we romanticizing the whole thing? How say you, Mark?
Eric, I like this one because this question that you're asking is up for debate. Certainly how the playground executive or a bully would affect the outcome of how things turn out in terms of historical texts or biblical texts, or in terms of the pursuit of our own goals, objectives, whatever inspirations or muses we have. Or maybe it speaks to something like, fighting on with a vengeance or having a chip on our shoulder. So I think it depends on several things here, and it also depends on the person and the personality. I think that, and we've talked about this before, you have to look back at the playground and the roots of how it came about, and also the understandings that we spoke of in one of our episodes about competition, the need for competition. So for all things being equal, if everything was equal and just and that kind of thing, would there still be that feeling of competition that we have amongst our peers? Maybe it would be more of a friendly competition, but it wouldn't drive us as hard per se. Maybe if we lived down the road from each other, we might challenge each other to a game of pool or billiards, as it's often referred to, and compete for bragging rights. But in reality, we have many of the same things that we want to in life. The thing is with the playground is that it can be very, very positive, or I don't want to say positive, I want to say it can be used as fuel or inspiration in the right situation. If someone's working off of determination or off of anger to turn things around because they feel something is not fair, then yes, the playground and the executives and the bullies and people like that, the presence of those people and those factors in our lives can most certainly can be kind of like a call to action. However, it has to be the right person and in the right doses. I think if you're exposed to too many playgrounds, the intensity of those playgrounds and the people that are involved, they can actually, in certain cases, create circumstances that kind of strike down your inspiration altogether. Because at some point, if people feel like they're facing too many obstacles, then sometimes they'll throw in the towel on their dreams altogether, and just kind of live day by day. So I think it really just depends. Again, certain people can use it as fuel and inspiration, and something can really come out of it. Like, with Joseph, and some people, it could really kind of be it could really be kind of the end of anything that they really want to pursue. I think that for somebody like myself, I think that I'm self-motivated, and maybe a little bit of a personal kind of chip on my shoulder works well and that kind of thing. But at the same time, it's important, I think, for myself and like-minded people to say, okay, well, you know what? Yes, it's good to be challenged. Not everything needs to be peachy and rosy for us to achieve what we want to achieve in this life. But at the same time, that it gives a little bit of extra fuel when you know that things are not fair, because you want them to be fair. We ask for justice, right? We hope for justice on some level. And the playground ultimately is a social injustice. So we try to correct those balances as much as we can. We try to beat the odds and that type of thing. And in that way, I think if channeled correctly and within a reasonable quantity of injustices that we face or playground scenarios that we face, I believe that it can be used as muse or inspiration or fuel for the fire, whatever you'd like to call it. But again, within reason, too much of it and just the fire goes out. That's where I stand with it.